Allied Security Services nearly killed me for wrongful termination. Before I die, my side of the story will be told. I will not let a large company make me seem like I was a terrible worker because they had the power to destroy me and my life. Yes, that is exactly what they did. I'm 60 years old. I've lost everything financially, my dignity, my trust, and I've gained major depression, all because of a day I was scheduled off by the account manager, Paul Kiesler, and took off only to be terminated via my personal email. What do I have left? Nothing. Nothing, nothing, and more nothing. I'm not just going to sit around. I wasn't really going to do this, but over the years, it just kept haunting me. And I want my side of the story, the truth to be told, because I was a good worker. And I'm not going down like this. Okay, here I begin. The loss of my job has caused several problems for me. I've had trouble securing a new position, and I feel a large part of it is because I must note the reason why I was terminated from Allied, even though I was wrongfully terminated. Uh, Sometimes on the application it asks why did you leave the other job? If I put because I was terminated, I'm sure nobody would hire me because of that. But anyway, some of the other feelings and issues I have had are depression. That's the number one feeling. When I found out I was terminated, I really just wanted to go across the levee and just kill myself, really. I was deeply depressed and confused. I felt like I did exhibited extraordinary skills, as a lead weighmaster, because I worked at Shell Chemical Company, logistics in Shell Chemical Company, working, with the environmental managers for over 5 years, and I worked under other security companies and Allied Universal Security Service without any complaints, on with good praises, only until this man to be terminated by the enterprise account portfolio manager for Allied Universal Security Service for allegedly a no call, no show on a day he scheduled me off. Deeply affected me because I had pride in my work and was a model employee for years in that position. He hadn't even been there that long. I think he took over that position maybe a couple of months uh, before all this went down. The termination caused feelings of being overwhelmed. I was definitely sad, empty, anger. I was angry, frustrated, fear, fear of the future. I had fear. If I got any other job, I would be terminated for a day they scheduled me off. I was helpless, worthless. Oh, I definitely had suicidal thoughts all the time. Every time when I was alone, I thought about killing myself. Yeah, I guess it's kind of stupid, but you know, it's just me, when you try to do right and you are always helpful to people for this, and the way that he made me seem like I was a villain, you know. There were times I was unable to get out of my bed for days as I worry about my present and future financial well-being. I started going to the doctor. I've been on depression, antidepressants, and other stuff. I had migraine headaches. Stress and frustration, especially financial strain. I had just gotten a new car. I lost my car. It was repossessed. You know, now I got a bill to pay. They auction the car off. Now I got a huge bill to pay uh, for the amount that's left on the car. You know, uh, not being able to have money to pay for my bills or having a car to go to the doctor. My health really has deteriorated since then. Yes, I applied for food stamps and all that, and it's a little help, but day-to-day living, it's very hard for me. My credit score went down. I lost interest in, family gathering and socializing. I guess, some people say, well, it shouldn't be, but I'm 60 years old, you know. When you have a good, clear record and and all of a sudden it turns out this way to be, yes, you never know unless it happens to you. Okay, let's get to the nitty gritty. This is the man that was acting as the project manager to where I work at. This is the one that makes the schedule. He is the one that makes the schedule. He also managed many, I think over 40, 50 different sites. Not only the site I was working at, but different sites. Okay, this is him. Okay, this is where it all begins again. This is the schedule. This is the schedule that he made, Mr. Paul Kiesel. This is the schedule. As you will note, the week of Sunday, August 21st through August 27th, you will note that I made notations of the days that I work. I work on the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. I'm off the 28th, 29th, the 30th. I go back to work on the 31st, and I'll split days on September the 1st. You see that? This is the schedule that he made. If you know, the only changes, I normally work uh 6 hours. I was supposed to work 6 hours on that Wednesday, but as of the 23rd, he added me another hour. For some reason, I don't know. Brandon is one of the new waymaster that he hired. Needed some reason, whatever, I don't know what it, but he added an hour on to my schedule. As you see up here where I wrote Wednesday, 8/24, that's when I would always print my schedule. I always check my schedule while I'm off the day before I come to work. And when I get to work on that day in the morning, I always get to work early, about, maybe a half an hour early to prepare myself for the day, because those trucks have to be in for a certain time. And if I get there exactly at 6 o'clock, it's kind of like delay them, because it's a 2 hour time limit, for them. So I try to get there early and prepare my area, for the trucks. So as you will see, this is my schedule that Mr. Paul Kiesler made for me for that week. Okay. So when I went to work that week, uh, that Wednesday, the 24th, that half a day, my team leader was Crystal Franklin. I saw Paul that morning. He left about 12 o'clock to go to Pennsylvania, wherever he had to go for a meeting or something. Paul stuck his head in the door and stated he was leaving. He told Crystal he was leaving. He said his goodbyes and he left. Okay? I completed my day I came to work that Thursday. I did my 12 hours as usual. I came to work. I went to work that Friday. Okay. But let me backtrack. I gotta backtrack for a minute. Okay. All right. This is my written statement. Okay, this is where I backtrack. Here we go. Tuesday, August 23rd. I checked my eHub. eHub is where we have to go online. All the employees have to go online to check their schedule. Okay, that's what they want you to do. We used to have a paper schedule on the job, but since Ally been there, we have to check our eHub online or on our phones. Put it like this, on our phone. So I check my eHub from home as I normally do to see what my schedule was like for the rest of the week. I was off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's normal for me since I trained a new Waymaster a couple of months before, and Paul decided that I was gonna have the uh, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off, and Brandon was gonna have opposite 3 days off. So okay, that's my normal days off now. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. All right. So what I saw was that I was scheduled to work the 6 hours on Wednesday. Now this is what I saw on Tuesday. 8:24, 12 hours on Thursday, the 8/25, 12 hours on Friday, uh 8/26, 10 hours on Saturday, 8/27 off on Sunday, 8/28 off on Monday, 8/29 and off on Tuesday, 8/30, and back to work on Wednesday, 8/31, and Thursday, 9/1. That is where my schedule ended. Okay, this is what I saw on that Tuesday, August 23rd. Now, when I get to work on Wednesday, August 24th, uh, I got to work a little before 6 a.m. Like I said, always preparing myself. Uh, when I got time after I prepared my workstation, I went on eHub on the work computer to print my schedule. The only changes from the schedule from the day before that I noticed from checking, it on that Tuesday, the day before, was that it changed, my hours changed from 6 hours to getting off an hour later on Wednesday. So that's why I said Brandon must have called Paul and said he needed an extra hour before he come to work. Okay, we're gonna get back to Mr. Brandon later. So, okay, that was fine with me. I didn't complain about it. Okay, the rest of the schedule remained the same. As you know, as I showed you on the previous slide, I printed the schedule and placed it in my bag. Again, Paul Kieser left around noon without mentioning anything about a schedule change. He seen me. He spoke to Crystal. He said goodbye. He didn't say nothing about my schedule being changed. I printed the schedule. Ain't nothing changed, but an hour was added. Okay. That Thursday, August 25th, I reported to work as scheduled. Get there early, same thing, prepare my work area, check over the paperwork, check to see, set up my career and all that stuff, check my manifest for my waste material, did all that. No indication from the team leader about a schedule change. I work with both team leader. Both of my team leader was Crystal and Tina because they had a half a day. And talking with Crystal that morning, let me tell you, I talked with Crystal because I knew that the Sunshine Bridge, which I call to go to work, it was due to closing because they was working on the bridge. And I knew Brandon had to cross that bridge like I would have to cross that bridge to get to work. As before, when that bridge had damage, I had to go out of my way about an hour, 2 hours to get to work for almost a whole year. So I asked Crystal, I was telling her really about having to go out my way to get to work Saturday because the Sunshine Bridge would be closed. So she stated to me, oh, that's right, because Brandon had stated earlier that the bridge was going to be closed and he was going to ask you to swap with him, but he said you was from the same side. I told this to Crystal, well, Brandon would have to do like I did, go out of my way to get to work. Okay? Friday, here comes Friday, August 26th. Now, here we go again. I'm speaking with the team leaders. Team leaders did not mention to me being off on Friday, right? They my supervisors, okay? I reported to work as scheduled, ahead of time as normal. Prepare my work area, check all my paperwork. I signed in all my 6 o'clock trucks. My waste management trucks coming in. Okay, as I was signing trucks in, here after 6 o'clock, Brandon shows up. Tina Roussel was the team leader at that time, and she was sitting at her desk behind me because the team leader and the weighmaster shares the same office. She was sitting at her desk on the computer, I don't know, doing lesson shopping or doing whatever. And when Tina walked in the door, she asked Brandon, well, what are you doing here? And Brandon stated, I was scheduled to work today. And I stated, I was scheduled to work today. This is my normal schedule. Now, Maya, I'm not irate. I'm not screaming. I'm not doing none of that. So, Brandon stated, I was scheduled to work today. Again, okay, let me, made a mistake. Brandon states on my eHub, it showed I'm working today. Tina says to me, check your eHub. I stated, I check my eHub on Tuesday and Wednesday, like I always do, and I printed it. I said, I can show you the printout. I showed Tina the printout, and she said nothing. Tina, the team leaders, always gets a schedule. The team leaders can go online and look at the schedule to see uh, who is scheduled for the day and who's not scheduled. Paul give them that right. They have that. And not only that, the team leaders keep a schedule on the wall who is scheduled to work. Okay. Um, so I said I can okay, I showed Tina the printout and she said nothing. Yeah, then I was angry. I got a little angry and I said, and I stated that if I was sent home, I was not coming back until Wednesday because my schedule appointment, I had scheduled an appointment because it was stated, I had scheduled an appointment for my days off, and it was stated by the company that schedule whatever you need to do on your days off, and that's what I did. I scheduled some things for me to do on my days off. So, and I, like I said, I had things to do Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and all of a sudden, my schedule changed. And it is not fair to me that my schedule must change because of other people need time off. I'm tired of working in the shadows because I'm scheduled according to when he needs off. It is not fair. My schedule was changed to give him a weekend off. I'm waiting for my scheduled weekend off. There's none. Okay, the reason why I stated that was okay, months ago, every time it even came out of Brandon's mouth, he is Caucasian, that every time I've been noticing over the months that uh all of a sudden Paul would schedule me a certain schedule, then like a day before he would change it And Brandon mentioned that every time he needed off, Paul would give him off. So he would go to Paul and tell Paul when he would need off, and Paul would change my schedule without letting me know. Which means if I had things planned, I can't do nothing that I planned because I have to go to work. It didn't have any respect to me. I've been there, maybe 4 year plus, but I didn't. I mean, it didn't matter to me if I wasn't off. I wouldn't mind doing it, but if you didn't ask me or Brandon didn't ask me, it was just done, and I got tired being treated that way. And not only that, since I trained Brandon to become a away master. Okay, I trained him in that. Um, um, but he got treated different than me because like Paul would call him his protege. Brandon is in the military. I don't have no problem with him being in the military, and he is Caucasian. I'm black. I'm nearly 60 years old. I'm 60 now, you know. But the difference with me is I know my job. I know how to perform my job. I've been doing it well long before Brandon came there. So out of all the people that I've trained there, they didn't last there very long because they couldn't handle the position because the position is very, very demanding and you have to multitask, okay? So when Brandon was hired, Paul called him protege. He's not my protege. Out of all the people that was hired in that position, Paul did not call now one of them protege. Okay? So every time he's young, Caucasian, needed off, he would give him off. You see, I didn't pay attention to it until Brandon himself mentioned it. So I was kind of upset because it was my Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off, and I had plans. Hurricane, I'd have had plans. I didn't even get to repair my house or nothing like that. I didn't get to do nothing because I was constantly working. So anyway, let's get back to that. So that would that wouldn't be fair. It was not right. It's just not right. I worked for more than 8 months holding that position down, working 12 hours Monday through Friday and 10 hours on Saturday with only one day off. Faithfully ahead of time, not calling off unless I was sick and half dead, and this is what I get. I'm following the schedule that I printed. Tina stated, well, you need to talk to Paul about that. I stated, if there was a change in the schedule, I saw Paul on Wednesday. He should have mentioned it then. Paul ain't never mentioned nothing about a schedule. Nothing else was said from Tina. And let me rephrase. Oh yeah, I was upset with her, but I did not curse or nothing like that. At the end of my shift, I asked Tony Hudson, the oncoming team lead, was my schedule changed. He checked the schedule and stated, no, Antoinette. I said, are you sure? He said, no, you still is off on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I said, okay, because I did schedule some appointments that I need to take care of starting Sunday. I told Tony, since the Sunshine Bridge is closed, I have to go out of my way to get home. He stated, oh, yeah, oh, that's right, the bridge is closed. Saturday, August 27th, I went to work as scheduled. Crystal Franklin was the team lead. There was no mentioning of any schedule change. After 10 hours of working, I gave my pass down to Crystal and stated, see y'all on Wednesday. Now, Crystal is the team leader. She did not mention anything to me about coming to work that Sunday on the schedule or nothing like that. Okay? So, Tuesday, August 30th, I check eHub like I like I do before I go to work at my scheduled time. I'm not on the schedule. I called a team leader, Crystal, and stated I was scheduled to come back tomorrow, which is the Wednesday, but I see I'm not on the schedule at all. She told me to hold on. She tried to transfer my call, but something happened. So evidently, she hung up on me. I called back and she told me that Paul said, check my email, which is my personal email. I said, okay. Uh, I do not check my personal email. I'm sorry to say. It takes me a couple of days before I check my personal email. So anyway, so I checked my personal email. Two emails were sent to me back to back. Work related things should have been sent to my work email. I was at work when he sent me an email on Saturday. I was at work on Saturday. He should have sent it to my work email, but instead he sent it only to my personal email. I worked 10 hours on Saturday. He should have sent it to my email, Antoinetta.Stab@shell dot com net, whatever. Okay. So it should have, like I said, it should have went sent to my work email. Sunday, August 30, 28th, he sent me another email. Again, that is my personal email. And all work related emails should have been done through my work email. Again, on that email, I disagreed 100% where he stated I failed to respond to any attempts from the team lead shift supervisor to contact me. I'm sorry to say, y'all, no team leader never called me nor text me as they would do other officers. They do not do that to me because they have called many officers when they didn't show up from work and woke them out of bed. They did not do it for me because had they called, I would have went to work. As stated per Paul email, he lied on that one. I was labeled as a no call, no show. How could I be a no call, no show when my schedule showed I was off? Okay. Then I see to be terminated via my personal email. I've never been a no call, no show for any of my shifts. I was always ahead of time, missed no days, and did my job accordingly to the requirements. I held that post down for 8 months with no help to make sure that position ran smoothly. Just because he changed my schedule, because Brandon did not want to go out of his way because of the bridge being closed. I never had a write up when I asked for four hours off because of illness in the family. They refused give me 4 hours off because and then because of other employees call off and don't show up for work at all. And they didn't even do them nothing. Okay. All right. When Krista told me that Paul said to check my personal email, something told me to go back on eHub and check my schedule. Paul is the only one that can make or change anything on the schedule because he's the only one that authorized to do this. No one else, not even the team leader, unless the team leader have his password or whatever. So this is what I see on Tuesday, the 30th of August. As you will see, do anybody see any changes in my schedule? Do you see me on the to work the 28th, August 28th, that Sunday? I'm not on there. Do you see where he changed my schedule to be off on the 26th, where Brandon could work on the 26th? No, he did not change anything. My schedule was still the same. I was off that 28. Nothing changed. Do you see? The only thing changed was he added, if he changed anything, he added one more hour to me to work that Wednesday. And another thing that he changed by me checking it due to the fact that he terminated me on this day, the 29th, is that he took me off the schedule on that Wednesday, the 31st, and that Thursday, the 1st. All right. So later on that date, now I printed that schedule. As you will see, August 30th, 2022, that morning. All right. Later on, I decided to go back on my eHub and I wanted to print another one. I go on my eHub, guess what? No schedule. All my information and stuff kind of like disappeared. I couldn't print no schedule from no time on it because it was no longer on eHub. Makes you wonder, huh? All right, this is the email that supposedly Paul sent while he was in Pennsylvania or wherever he was. Look at the date. The date is 8 on the top part. It says 8/28, 22, 10:46 a.m. But at the bottom where they have Saturday 8/27, 22 at 12:50. At 12:50, I was on my job at Shell Chemical doing what I'm supposed to do. Um, as you will see, his email says, please be sure to double check eHub often as schedules are changing. That's what I do all the time. And as you will note, he sent this to my personal email address. If you have me on a schedule to work August the 27th, that's where I was at work. You should have sent this to my work email. I was there. I was on the job. Where does he say that, dear Antoinette, your schedule has changed? Nowhere on there. All right, here's another email he sent that same day while he was in Pennsylvania, wherever he was. If you look at the top again where it says 8/28/22, 10:45 a.m. and below that it has Saturday 8/27/22 at 12:57 again. Then he has all the employees' email, some of them with their personal email and with their work email. And what I have underlined is where he only put my personal email. He sent it to my personal email. Again, I was at work. Why did he not address my work email? Uh, he addressed the team leads and other people that have work emails on the list of emails, but he only put my personal email on it, and I was at work. As you will see, it says, until we are able to get staffing levels back to normal, the schedules will be changing as needed. My goal is to ensure everybody is notified of changes, but I'm only human. Please be sure to double check eHub often as schedules are changing. Again, I check my eHub email all the time while I'm working, but once I'm at home, it's a different story. But the only way I check, let me rephrase that. When I know that my schedule is, I always check my schedule the day before or while I'm at work. I check it all the time because they do tend to throw things at you that you don't even know about. And that is exactly what I did. So anywhere on there, do you see where he states, Antoinetta, your schedule has changed for you to work A, B, C, or D? He have team leaders. He usually notify the team leaders to tell the employees what to do. He didn't even do that because I was working with the team leader all that day. Okay, here's another email that he sent August 27th. This one here's on the paper where you see it says at the top it says 8/28/22, 10:44 a.m. and underneath that it says Saturday 8/27/22, 13:22. That's 122. Okay, you see they have everybody email address that he sent this to. He even sent it to the the uh workers' email and their personal email. But as you see, he only sent it to my personal email. This is a Saturday. Let me remind you again, I am at work on that Saturday. So this is what he writes. Over the last 3 months, I have been very lenient on the disciplinary paperwork as it pertains to call-offs and tardiness. I am giving you all fair warning that I will be reviewing the outrageous number of call-off and tardy paperwork, and once completed, I will make efforts to reach out to people to complete the disciplinary process. Moving forward, I will not be as lenient in disciplinary process, will be at the forefront. Make sure to review the AUS handbook available on eHub that's let you know he's the one that is in control of the schedule. If you have any questions pertaining to this process. Okay, this says if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, I'm at work. I'm working with the team leads. They still did not tell me anything about me having to come to work on that 28th. And not only that, uh, since I've been working at Shell, if an employee don't show up for the day of their work or if they late, the team leader will call them. If they haven't arrived by their scheduled time, they will call them to find out where they're at. So if I was to be at work that Sunday, definitely no team lead called me to even remind me or say that I was due to work. And I really think it was part of a setup, the way it was, because if I'm there always on time, barely miss a day, and they have never written me up for tardiness because I take my job serious. I took any job I had serious. So I'm there, I'm seeing this. Employees always tardy. They call them on the phone. Uh, if they don't show up 30 minutes, they'll call the team leaders. But none of them had the audacity to call me on that Sunday. Even if I didn't show up for work and my schedule showed that I was off, that could have been overtime for me. I love overtime, especially especially when it's pertaining to the trucks. They could have called me in to make some extra cash, even if I didn't show up. But you know what? They didn't even consider it. They didn't even do it. Okay, y'all. This is the email from Mr. Paul Kiesler on Sunday, August 28, 2022 at 10:40 a.m. It states no call, no show. All right. So if you look where it says to, he has my work email and my personal email. Let's remember the other emails that he sent me from Pennsylvania, wherever he was only addressed to my personal email, and plus I was work on the 27th. So today is the 28th and I am not at work. And so he sends it to my work email. What a coincidence. My work email and my personal email. So it states today, 8/28/22, you were a no call, no show for your shift as the waymaster. You were notified of schedule changes on the 8/26 and 8/27. Okay, everyone, I put up my schedule and I put it on. I showed y'all my schedule. The only changes that I had was 1 hour on that 24th when I was due back to work. Y'all be my witness. Then he goes, you have failed to respond to any attempts from the team leadership supervisor to contact you. You were notified of schedule changes on the 8/26 and 8/27. Instead of terminating you immediately as per Ally Universal handbook page, whatever, you are off the schedule pending a discussion with Ally Universal HR. Okay. Um, as I say it again, he sent this on that Sunday, August 28th at 10:49, and where he says that the team leadership supervisor tried to contact me, I am ready to go take a lie detector test that no one contacted me. To be honest, if I was supposed to be there but for 6 that morning, I always arrived 30 minutes early to my prepare for the day. If I was not there, the the team leads would call every employee that was never there on time or tardy to find out where they're at. They did not call me. Okay. Another thing, I'm willing to take a lie detector test, and I've enclosed my phone records to prove that no team leader called me. And that's their normal routine because the team leader and I share the same office space, and I am aware of what they do, and they never call me. On my parents' grave, never did. So that is falsification that he's talking about. Okay, here is my phone records. As you will see, at the bottom, it started off at August 28, 2022 at 10:58 a.m. Do you see any? Normally, the phone calls from work would be a 201 number, and I'm not sure of their cell phone number, but you see it started at 8:28, 2022 at 10:58 a.m. This is one of the personal calls that I made. Now, as you see at the top on August 23rd, 2022 at 6:45 p.m., 201-6201, that's the Waymaster phone number. This phone call was from team lead, uh, the person who gets off at 6 o'clock. He needed help with a truck that was leaving out the plant. He called me and I gave him instructions on how to get that truck out the plant. This is what I do. This is what I like doing. And I really appreciate him calling me so that he wouldn't mess up. And then when I would return to work, I would normally have to correct all their mistakes. So this is the only call that I had on the 23rd. It was from a team lead that needed assistance uh, releasing a truck from the plant. Okay, this is the second page of my phone calls from 8:28 on the day that the team leaders were supposed to notify me. As you will see, there is no number from 225 201 6201 or any 225 201 number from the plant where I work at. So again, the team leads falsify their information. All right, as you well know, on August the 30th at 11:09, after I checked my e-hub, that's the day before I'm due back to work on that Wednesday. This is a Tuesday. Do you see that 201-6262? That is me calling my job, Shell, to find out why I was not on the schedule. That's when I found out that I was terminated. The team leader answered the phone. Paul was there. She told me, hold on. She went, called Paul, and Paul told her to tell me check my email. That's how I found out I was terminated. Okay, so after I called that number on August the 30th, I went check my email, and this is what I found. As you will note, he emailed this to my personal email on the 29th. I'm sorry to say, sir or ma'am, I do not check my personal email, especially when I know I go to work, and especially when I check my eHub. I'm sorry to say that. So this is what he wrote. He sent this one to my personal email. Now remember, the email he sent out on August the 28th, he sent it to my work email and my personal email. So why are you flip-flopping? Why are you flip-flopping? On the 27th, when you sent all those emails out, you did not send it to my work email, and I was at work the whole day. I was at work. So this is what he wrote. After discussion with Ally University HR, it had been decided that you are being terminated for a no call, no show. How could it be a no call and a no show when you scheduled me the day off? Please explain that to me. Please explain it to me. And then you tell me, okay, you send these emails, but let me tell y'all something. My brother was sick. My brother had a stroke and a heart attack. And I had to leave to go to Florida to see my brother because he was critical. He wasn't going to make it. I left. I had to leave in the middle of the night. I called my job more than 4 hours in advance. That's what you call that's what is required. You have to call 4 hours in advance if you're going to call off. And I let the team leader know that I had to leave on emergency because my brother was not going to make it through the night. I had to drive to Florida. This was a third, and that I would be back to work on that Monday. I was gone while I was in Florida. I was going to spend to see the status of my brother. And I definitely will be back by that Monday. Before I made it to Florida, they had called me. I had to call Paul. I'm traveling. They had called me to find out if I was coming to work. Before I made it to Florida to see the status of my brother. So once I reached Florida and settled down, my mind is not straight because my brother is dying. I called Paul and he wanted to know when I was coming. I told him, I said, look, I left the message that I will be back to work on Monday. He called me while I was on my way to Florida to ask me when I was coming to work. But they could not call me when when I was supposedly work that Sunday. Nobody and never picked up a phone to call me, but they called me before I made it to Florida where my brother was dying. So doesn't that seem like a setup? This is one of the statements that one of the team leader wrote, which is a false statement. I am willing to take a lie detector test on this, but I'm going to go through this right quick because it's so much more. But with this team leader here, she would always be under Paul Kiesler. When she's on duty, when she see him coming down the street, if she's sitting at her desk, she would get up and go immediately to his room, his office, and they would close door. And hey, I'm not making no accusation, But if he walked, she walked, she stayed under him like glue to paper. I would hate to say it, if he passed gas, it was coming through her mouth. That's how close they were. And not only that, she would always tell me and tell people I did not like her. Uh, I don't like her, this and that. And I was tired of telling her she should not be saying that. She's a team leader. She shouldn't be telling that to nobody. It's not the fact that I did not like her. It was just that I had a working relationship. You don't tell that. It's maybe some of the things she did and some of the things that I may have not liked about her, but I didn't confront her about it. I was never in her face. I was never, I'm an employee. You have to get along with everybody. So I consider myself just getting along with her. Just because I wasn't a friend like the rest of them, holding conversation. No, I had too much work to do. I didn't have time for that. But she would always say, I know you don't like me. And I kept telling her, don't say that. But whatever she says, it says. If she said the sky was green, you better believe it was green. All right. Now, this is her statement about that day, about what happened, because she was the team leader on duty. She put on there, and whoever wrote this statement for her, this is a false statement. Again, I am willing to go take a lie detector test on this one. On August 26, 2022, Antoinetta Staub arrived early before the 6 a.m. required start time and began preparing for Waymaster traffic. All right, as you will see, I'm always preparing my work, always get to work early. That should be a plus for a company. Then she writes at 6:06 hour, Brandon Moore walked into the security building where he was greeted by team lead Tina Roussel. That's not true. Tina Roussel was sitting behind me at her desk. Let me remind you, we share the same room. Tina was sitting behind me at her desk on a computer looking, maybe doing her schoolwork or looking at clothes or on Facebook. She was sitting behind me. And Brandon was not there at 6 o'clock because I had signed all the 6 o'clock trucks in and the Stranco waste management truck was coming in. Brandon was not there for 6 o'clock. Okay, let's continue. Where she says he was greeted by her, that's a lie. She was sitting at her desk behind me. Roussel advised Mom Stott was the waymaster today, and Mom stated he was on the schedule. Okay, that's another false. When Brandon walked through the door, Tina says, Cody, because she calls him Cody. Cody, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I'm on the schedule. All right, let's continue what she said. Stott was, okay, the minute. Okay, Stott was the waymaster today, and Mom stated he was on the schedule. Mom double checked eHub and was indeed the officer scheduled for today. With Mom following closely behind, Roussel walked into the office where the waymaster post is located and approached Stipe to inquire about her schedule on eHub. Before Roussel could ask any questions, Stipe noticed Mom and became visibly upset. That's another lie. So whoever wrote this for Tina is an outright lie. I'm ready to take a lie detector test on this. Tina did not walk into the office. How could you walk into an office when you was already in the office sitting behind me at a desk? But of course, Paul Kiesler is her friend and he's gonna believe her. Okay. Before Roussel could ask any questions, Stott noticed Mom and became visibly upset. No, I was not upset. Stott with an elevated tone began to rant. That is not true. I did not rant. The outburst consisted of her advising if she was sent home, she wouldn't come back. That is not how it went. She's telling another false statement. She is sick of this shit. Oh, sorry. I don't recall saying that. And she's tired of schedule being catered to mom. Okay, as well as a host of other obscene profanities in regard to the situation. Nurse, no way it happened because I have to show respect for my clients that come in, my truck drivers. I do not I do not yell in front of 'em. If anything, my truck drivers come in there sometimes because maybe because they have driven all their entire, and I just try to ease them, with pleasant conversation and all that. This is not true what Tina says. She pulled out a paper schedule printed from eHub and advised she was on the schedule for today. Roussel asked her to stop, calm down, inquired, did she check eHub again? Roussel is telling a false statement again. Again, I'm going to take a lie detector test on this. Paul advised, okay, eHub again, as Paul advised in the email sent out to all security professionals because recent changes were made. I showed you the emails that Paul sent on the 27th, which was a Saturday. Let's rephrase that. So that's a lie. Paul sent the emails that Saturday. Saab did not answer Roussel. She continued to vent. That's not true. Sensing a tense of uncomfortable situation, Roussel attempted to de-escalate by allowing Stiles to say, all that is not true. Tina is telling a false statement. Uh, Roussel apologized to Mom for Stiles' unprofessional behavior and offered him training hours at another post to get his hours missed for the day. Mom advised he had things to do at home and was fine with leaving. Okay, if he had things to do at home, why did he show up for work that I was on the schedule? Before Mom left, eHub was checked by both he and Stop, and they both stated verbally what days they were scheduled to work for the remainder of the week. After Mom left, Roussel reprimanded Stop for her behavior. That is not true. Roussel did not speak to me afterward. Staub apologized and admitted she knew she was wrong, and that is not true, and that she would apologize to Mom. That is not true. The incident was reported to manager Paul Kiesler, and Tina lied to Mr. Paul Kiesler because, she sticks under him like glue. So all that was a lie. And let me tell you about Mr. Brandon Mom. Since Mr. Brandon was hired, I was the one that trained him. All right. Since I knew what I do, I've been away masters. As a matter of fact, I was a night shift supervisor at that same site many years ago that I resigned because of me getting ill. And by chance, I was rehired at Shell with a different security company. I worked my way up again to Waymaster. It didn't matter to me which position I held. I just wanted a position because where I was working at before wasn't making much money. But after my son graduated from high school, I said that I was going to seek a higher paying job, more money, making more money, since I kind of like dedicated myself to that previous job because it was convenient for me to accompany my child whenever he had sports events and all that. So I lucked up and got that job back at Shell again. I worked out in the environment at a gate, but I already had knew Waymaster because I had been a night shift supervisor at Shell in 2000. Okay, I knew Waymastering. I knew the whole plant. I knew it all. I knew the CCTV, but over the years you tend to forget, and I wasn't current with that. So when Tina says she contacted Paul and told Paul all that, it's a straight outright lie. As I said before, Tina was on Paul's footstep since she was hired there. And when Paul started working there, like months, I give him, several months, she would stick under him like glue. Again, if he would pass gas, it would come through her mouth. All right. So on the, I'm going to show you. This is one of many of a character that was from one of the employees from Shell. All right. This is a statement that she was the former project manager at Shell Chemical Company for a different security company before Allied Universal uh, acquired the contract. And I worked under her, and this is her statement. When Allied bought or got the contract, she continued being a project manager. And this is her statement. It says, to whom it may concern. I had the pleasure of working with Antoinetta as her project manager for 5 years. As a weighmaster, she was punctual and extremely bright. Antoinetta was amongst the most talented weighmaster and absolutely displaying her qualification, skills, and knowledge. I was continuously impressed by the knowledge and dedication she brought to the table, staying on top of the latest changes as a weighmaster. Antoinetta combined sharp analysis skills with a strong intuition that she could be relied on and always dependable to meet deadlines which exceeded our expectations. During her 5 years with Shell Chemical Company, Geismar, Louisiana, she achieved numerous accomplishments from increasing the weighmaster post by 35%, by decreasing errors, decreasing demurrage, knowledge of federal and state weight limitations, etc. She created a step-by-step training guide on all the different programs to be used as a guide for all new Waymasters. While Antoinette's professionalism was immensely valuable to the Waymaster post, she was also a wonderful team player, optimistic, engaging attitude, and easy to get along with. Antoinetta was a true joy to have in the office. Okay, this is totally opposite of what Mr. Paul Kiesler said and Tina Roussel. Tina Roussel was hired at the before my termination. She might have been there only maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months, and she never knew my character because she would always say it. I didn't like her. She didn't really get to know me. And yes, I've created a lot of training material for Shell. Uh, Me myself, I really would have thought Ally would have. I was very knowledgeable. I Although I worked under the Allied title, I felt that they should appreciate me because I was representing their company at that site. And by representing that company, Allied, at that site, I did my best and ability. I want to show all my ability to give Allied as their worker, the accolades that they needed, that they hire a good worker. But instead, this one particular man, I don't know, maybe he had something against me, decided to terminate me for a day he scheduled me off. Okay. But like I said, there's more to this story. I'm going to kind of like shorten it up and make this come to an end. Okay. There's more to my side of this wrongful termination. If you want more, please leave a message in the comments. I was somebody to allies as I was a part of their income until a man that has power to terminate, not because of my lack of work, not because of being tardy all the time, like most, not because I did not know my job, just because he had the power and backup to support him. Um, if you would like to send prayers, I need all the prayers. I need uplifting words, or even if you want to make a donation to me, I would highly appreciate it. I don't normally do this, but I don't have nothing. Allied is just wipe me clean. But if you want to hear more to this story, there's a whole lot more to this story. And I want everybody to know what actually happened to me because I don't want Allied, or better yet, the people that terminate me. Maybe Allied is a good company. I wouldn't know. But the administration, however you put it, whatever, just didn't accept my skills or talent because of what? Was it hatred? I wouldn't say, I guess, hate or racism or what, I don't know. But if you want to hear more about it, just leave me some type of message, and I have lots more to tell. And just like I said, before I die, I want people to know the real facts, what really happened, instead of the false information that was given. I thank you and be prepared for part two.